Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on Vancouver Island in Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Saturday, November the 4th, 2023. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. I have been a bit under the weather, so you might hear it in my voice. I do apologize if I have to stop and start this for some tea on the side here, or if I have a coughing fit. I don't want to have that in the video, so you might see me cut that out, which is probably probably for your better viewing anyway. But yeah, so Wednesday I had half a day at work. I had to get home because I was feeling so drained. Thursday I got the symptoms of flu, lots of dry coughing. So yeah, save you the details, but I'm on the mend. I'm feeling a little better on Saturday today, and I thought I'd jump in here. I have been working on some things while me and Pixel have been keeping each other company. Pixel is my 7-month puppy, and I know that some people who watch the video really like to see Pixel, so I'll put some things towards the end, either photograph or footage, whatever I can rummage. And yeah, so we've been keeping each other company at home. And occasionally I've been had some clarity of mind and thought, well, you know what, I could be stitching something together. I thought about doing a bit of a Mohair alpaca fuzzy type yarn video, so we can talk about what my thoughts are on some of the yarn brands out there and what you can do with these fuzzy yarns. So the ones that I'm talking about are ones that are lighter weight, either a fingering or a sport weight style of brushed alpaca or a mohair blend. And I've been holding them together either doubled up or with a different yarn so that we can see some of the benefits of a mohair or fuzzy that you put in a project. Now, just a caveat to that is that a lot of the fuzzy yarns that you stitch away on, it is harder to rip them back. If you make a mistake, all the fibers tend to want to stick together like Velcro. So there is a bit of tediness of going back to fix a mistake. So the stitch that I decided to use was a simple crochet stitch in this sampler that I'll show you in a bit. So what I'm going to do is cut this up into couple of different sections. One will be talking about where I got my mohair that started off all of this idea of doing a sampler, and that was from TEMU. And then I'll go into the project, and then I'll go into showing some Pixel or talk about whatever comes up towards the end of the video. So all the yarny goodies will be up front. So I hear you asking, what am I wearing? So this is my very good friend Crystal over a Bag a Day. It's her tutorial called the Stitch Sample of Beanie, and it came out I think a couple months ago, maybe I'm going to say 3 months ago, and I love this beanie so much. It's crochet, and if you don't know who Crystal is, wow, I have to introduce you to someone so special here in the yarning community. And if you would love to go over and see her and visit her and say, hi, Gary sent me, watch one of her tutorials, maybe watch an unboxing that she does of some really, all varied yarns. So the big box all the way to like the higher end, she will cover it all. So yeah, go across, say hello, maybe give her a subscribe and some YouTube love. Okay, so there's been a number of newcomers to the channel, and I contribute that to shoutouts that I've recently received from both my friend Crystal over at Bag a Day. I want to say thank you so much. I am always touched by these amazing words that Crystal has for me, and I appreciate them so much. So I want to say thank you to Crystal and all the people who have come across and given me a chance. So thank you. And also to Juan, who has a channel here on YouTube called Juan the Yarn Addict here on YouTube. And he is a very interesting person, following his story on how he got involved in crochet. And he's had a couple of videos where he's put out a Q&A section, and I've been learning so much about his creativity and the way that he comes and approaches a project. He has a great extensive knowledge of different stitches in crochet. Yeah, and he's got this personality that is so gravitating. I know that he's just starting, but he's shot off like a rocket. And I want to say welcome to the community, and you are amongst really good, great people. So my blessings to you. And I will also add him down below so that if you haven't visited Juan from the Juan the Yarn Addict, then please go ahead across and say hello from Gary. So I shall get stuck into talking about some of this yarn, and I know it's been already 5, 6, 7 minutes, so let's start cracking into it. My TEMU order came in this little plastic bag. It wasn't too much that I ordered. As I said, it was all about fuzzy yarns that I was interested in trying out. I'm going to sort of blanket this before getting stuck into the order, that all of the prices will be in Canadian currency. When you go visit temu.com, you'll have an ability to change the currency to wherever your country is. So just take note of that. Now, this purchase was made, I'm going to say 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and the numbers and price points always keep changing because the fact that you know, they're discounting at different rates, different times of the year. So when you go visit, if you're seeing a product that I am showing you and it might have a different price point, it's because they've applied a different discount at the time that you're surfing. So the numbers change. And I will quote, when I purchased the item, I just rechecked all of these yarns and they're available still. One product that I'm going to show you towards the end is not available. They've discontinued it. I don't know why. Maybe something fell through with the manufacturer of that one brand, or I'm not too sure. But yeah, so let's get started. The first one I'm going to show you is, it's called a 1 pack of 4 pieces multicolor mohair yarn. Now it comes like this in a bag that I've already unsealed. So you get 4 25-gram donuts. There's no mention of how many yards or meters are in each of the donuts, but I've already played around with this color, so I didn't end up using this one in the test that I was doing, and I wound it back up. But this one is called yellow, white, black, and the number of this one is, if you're looking for the number online, it's 58. Really soft. I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5, 5 being the softest in the soft value, because I have had a feel of many other yarns in this variety of mohair / alpaca. I know my rating system, I was going to give this a lot higher, but then I felt some other softer ones. But that's that one. Price point was $4.88 Canadian. Okay, the next collection is from the same web page. It's color 49, and again, no indication on how long these yarn donuts are. They're 25 grams, and the colors that they have in this one that they've said in their description is pink, purple, orange, yellow. I can't wait to knit with some of these because I did do my sample in crochet, and again that was $4.88 for the whole pack. This one here I did use in my sampler, so I only have 1 in the pack left because I used 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 of this pack, and same collection, and it is color 51, red, black, white, and I used the other 3, so this did have 4 in the pack. So that, again, same softness, 3.75 out of 5. The next one that I have is slightly different to the mohair one. This one is called, let me see, my notes are saying, it's called the Gradient Color Medium Chunky Mohair Yarn. And The speckles on this one are sapphire blue dots. Each of these are 50 grams in the cake. And again, it doesn't give me the yardage or meters. So I got 2 in the set, even though they're not wrapped together. The purchase allowed me, it offered up the 250 grams, so that's 100 grams together. And it was $6.98 Canadian. I thought this one was really interesting. So this one's different from the rest. It actually is a little thicker. So they're right in saying that it's a chunky style mohair, but I would give this more of a 2-weight with the fuzz, maybe a 3-weight. And then as you are using it, they have fluffs of different yarn. The softness factor on this one is probably a 2 out of 5. So it does feel a little itchy, but I worked up this in a different color, and I'll show you what I have left of the other set that I got from the purchase. So just put that back. Sorry about the crinkle. There we go. So the color that I used in my sample, this is what I have left of the 2 balls that I purchased. It's in the color, I think it's brown and orange dots. So same as the blue sapphire dots, but this one has brown and orange. Yeah. I really liked this one. I liked working with it, but it wasn't the softest. And out of all of the mohair varieties that I'd had my hands on over the last couple of days, I would say that this one is the roughest. I haven't washed it yet, so I don't know what the end result will be after washing. But to feel it coming straight out of the wrapper, it's not the softest yarn. It does smell like the most purest of the fibers, though, from the mohair that I've shown you previously to this one. So again, the price point on 2 of these 50-gram cakes in a pack was $6.98 Canadian. So I'll put that away. The last thing that I had in the order that I have to show you was the discontinued item, and it was this waxy paper style project bag that I am going to be throwing in socks or a small beanie project. I really liked it. It's got a zip on one side. Little pouch. And 2 grommets on here that you can feed your yarn through as well, which I don't know about that, because like things get tangled up and then your bag's also tangled. I don't think that's going to be part of how I'm going to use the yarn, but maybe I could slide some needles in there, keep the needles like locked in those loops. Not sure, but this was $11 and some cents Canadian, but it's been discontinued. So yeah, I think that was a good purchase. I like the color as well, and it has that natural crinkly look to it. I guess part of the appeal of it is that it's recycled, or that it's sort of a little bit like leather weathered. Oh yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's good. The lining is quite cute too. It's like a stripy lining in the pocket as well. Okay, enough about Temu shopping. Let's move on to the sampler and rate some of these yarns that I introduced into the different fuzzy kind of like sample scarf that I crocheted up. So I'll do it chronologically and then show you the whole piece and talk about some inspiration points that I then later went into the work and created other, I guess what you call it is like applique on top of the stitch work. So the stitch work is all in rice stitch crochet, and This is the first section. We have the TEMU multicolored mohair in the red, white, black. And I held that with a hobby yarn, which is their sweet tweed in a light gray. And I think I've got the number here, color 11 in the hobby yarn. And it worked up a really nice kind of almost boucle style. It does have reminiscence of, I think, homespun yarn, but when I was working with it, I could see my stitches. It wasn't difficult to find how to do the rice stitch with this type of yarn. So there was no guesswork. It's a little bit more cleaner. And the feel, I think, of this fabric together is a really nice style. I'm going to give it, as I mentioned with the TEMU multicolored mohair, it was a 3.75. Yeah, I would say that's still a 3.75 worked up. The hook size that I used was a 5mm Susan Bates metal hook, and I like the metal hook because it's a fuzzy yarn, that there was no drag. If you were to use something else like a wooden hook or a that hadn't been treated, you wouldn't get that glide. There would be a lot of resistance. Next one here, one of my faves. This is on its own. It is the, I think they called it the chunky mohair dots with the brown and orange dots. And again, I classified this as a 2. I'm going to say it's still a 2, but working it up slowly, massaged it a little bit more, and I'm going to upgrade it to a 2.5. So yet to see whether this is going to be as itchy as it is when it's washed. The next part, this is an interesting mix. So no TEMU yarn in here. This yarn is all about drops brushed alpaca, and it is also a it's also considered a fingering weight yarn, I believe. And this is what the label looks like. Brushed alpaca. There we go. Okay. And I held the brushed alpaca curry color with a yarn that I got, which was it was a fingering weight yarn from Ice Yarns called Tweed. And that was just a wool acrylic blend with tufts of the tweedy bits were polyamide. So I like that mix of the color. It was a gray color with the curry, and it gave this nice texture. I'm going to give it definitely softer than the first 2. So I like this together, and I'm going to rate this a 4 out of 5 for softness. The next one here. So the 2 in this color block here are the Drops Rust color, and the Rust color is 24, and I'm holding it together with the TEMU yarn called the multicolored black, white, red, and that color was color 51. I'm going to give it a maybe a 3.75 to 4 out of 5 softness. Yeah. This one here that I held were 2 hobby sweet tweed yarns, classified, I believe that they're considered a sport weight, fingering to sport weight, and the colorway is called light gray. And I'm just checking my notes, light gray is color 11. Softness is probably a 3.5 or a 3.5, 3 or 3.5. Excuse me. And this one is really interesting. I used one of my beautiful gifts that I received from Caramilla, from a Portuguese yarn, a Portugal yarn. And it is, I'm going to get the name right, so I'm going to read my notes. It's called the Rosarios 4, and the color is called color 13, or Miriam. I think it's called Miriam, the colorway. And I paired that with a Drops Alpaca yarn, and it is in light gray, number 2. So the Drops Alpaca yarn is a brushed alpaca, and I love this one because it's got structure, because I believe the Rosarios has it's merino wool and it has flex in it, so nice and sturdy, great for stitch definition, and provides all these lovely little speckles. And the softness of that brushed alpaca from Drops, I'm going to rate this one probably a 4 out of 5. It's like one of my favorites. Next one again is again back to the multi from TEMU, the multi Mohair, and this is the black, red, white. I'm holding it with Hobbies alpaca silk, or silk alpaca, and it's in the colorway called Marrakesh, or color 29. So it's kind of like a rusty brown color, and it changes up along the way with all of these other matches that I've done with that TEMU alpaca. So this is a TEMU alpaca too. TEMU alpaca, sorry, TEMU mohair, TEMU mohair, TEMU mohair. And there's Pixel down there, she's barking. And this one here, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5 because this is really soft. It is just the Drops alpaca on its own, or brushed alpaca. And it is in the colorway dark gray, number 3. And that's on its own. And the last one is a repeat of one you've seen, Ends the Scarf. And this is the bulky or chunky mohair from TEMU, which has the brown and orange dots. And again, that one is the roughest. It's like a 2.5. I'm going to give it a 2.5. So all in all, I went around it and did it's a rice stitch front post, back post border in the Hobby tweed, sweet tweed, in the dark gray and black. And I just bordered the whole thing. So here it is here. All together, it is, I'm going to say, probably around 9 feet long. And let me just wear it for you so you can see how I would wear it. It's quite a super scarf. Super scarf with lots of different patterns and that nice stitch border at the end. So what do you think? It's really warm. The idea behind all the different afterthought of stitch work that I put over, I actually appliqued it. I stitched in extra mohair like strands in between to replicate the plaid shirt, and I wanted to do that to only a few of the little squares so that it wouldn't be too loud and obnoxious, but I wanted to give that nice subtle feel that it would have that feel to a plaid shirt. So this will go well with plaid shirts, or if you've got denim, or if you wanted to use it in sort of a piece that had some stripes, this would work. So there's one stripe there down the middle, and then I've got different stripes in this one here to resemble the plaid shirt. They're just sewn in and out of the rice stitch, which is a great stitch because you're working on a grid formation, so there's no second guessing where the next stitch would be to create a straight line. All the guides are there for you to go in and out of the same rows, and you can do them vertically across the scarf or horizontally across the scarf. So just a nice way of playing with those extra bits of yarn that you cut off and you don't know what to do. Just throw them into one of the patches in the rice stitch. So yeah, I really enjoyed making it. I'm going to have fun wearing it this Christmas, And again, another look at the yarns that I went through here. Like the color selections there, lots of grays, lots of earth tones, a bit of pop of curry there for interest. And yeah, I am going to probably knit with these because I'd like to do some knit samples and see how it looks when it's knitted up. I found as well that when I was playing around with a yarn like this one here, which is the Alpaca silk from Hobby, and pairing it with a Mohair, I could unravel this a lot easier because the slippiness of this yarn helped with pulling back and ripping back to a point where I wanted to correct a mistake. So I think if you are looking for building a Mohair product or item, then perhaps maybe if it's your first time using Mohair, you might want to pair it with something that's more of a slippy yarn so that if you needed to feel the confidence that you could rip back to correct a mistake, then that would be a suggestion that I would have to first use Mohair and have a good experience with it. Okay, so with that, I think that catches you up with everything that I wanted to chat with today. And I wanted to say thank you again to all of the shout outs that I received by various podcasters out there. And I enjoy meeting all the people that come across to say hello and welcome to the channel. I'm glad that you're giving me a go, and I'm happy that you're here. So until the next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.